Just within the past hour, I have received news on stocks that Warren Buffett has bought and stocks that Warren Buffett has sold. I'm going to share with you guys 5 stocks that Warren Buffett has bought in the last quarter and 5 stocks he has sold off of in the last quarter, guys. This is very interesting stuff. The Oracle of Omaha, the master investor, the GOAT himself, he has a lot of money sitting on the sideline. We know this. Well over $100 billion just sitting on the sideline, waiting to deploy this in different stocks out there and invest some of this money, all right? Now, Warren Buffett, he never gets desperate for deals. He waits around until a stock is the price he wants it at. He believes it's a good value. He goes out there and buys it, and he buys it in a major way, usually tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars at a time, sometimes even billions of dollars in a very short amount of time. We'll go ahead and put in some shares. So hope you guys really enjoy this. Hope you enjoy kind of, learning about some of the stocks he's buying, some of the stocks he's selling. And if you don't understand like how Warren Buffett always has this massive amount of cash that just keeps coming in to deploy, it's very simple. How the Berkshire Hathaway business model, which if you didn't already know, Berkshire Hathaway is a company that Warren Buffett founded. It's a company he ended up buying and basically built up into this big giant it is now. And he owns a huge stake in that, and that's why his wealth is so high, okay? So Berkshire Hathaway, how do they get this massive cash? Well, they own 100% of a ton of different businesses, okay? Think things from See's Candies, Dairy Queen, Fruit of the Loom, railroads. They own so many huge corporations, all right? Huge corporations, small corporations, everything across the board. They have 100% ownership in a ton of these businesses. The majority of them throw off tons of profits. Geico, could you imagine the profits Geico's bringing in? All right, these type of businesses make massive profits. All that profits owned by Berkshire Hathaway, it goes straight to their cash, okay? So it just builds their numbers up, Then they own a massive amount of stakes in tons of different stocks that pay a ton of different dividends, okay? And these stock dividends, they go straight to that cash pile, build up. Then the majority of time, they make profits on stocks they own, okay? They sell off for losses sometimes. Every once in a while they do. But the majority of time, by far, the stocks they buy, they end up selling for a profit, several years later, and sometimes really big profits. All that profit goes straight to cash, and then he does a ton of fancy deals out there. We've seen him do ones with Bank of America and a ton of different banks out there where he'll give them financing. They have to pay him interest rate or give him shares. Those deals throw off a ton of money for them because usually they work out. He's a very good deal maker. And so they just keep building this cash. And what do you do with all that cash? Well, you go and buy 100% more in ownership in other corporations, or you go ahead and you invest in more stocks that you can profit off of, make dividends off of, you do strategic deals, and it's just like a never-ending cycle of massive amounts of money, guys. So that's what we're going to get into here today. 5 stocks he's buying, 5 stocks he's selling. I hope you enjoy this. People want to know, is Warren Buffett still the greatest investor ever? I say, doesn't Michael Jordan still got his hoop earring in? Let's get into this, guys. Stock number 1 is Apple Corporation. So, man, it looks weird to see $1 trillion market cap. I've never seen that on Yahoo Finance before. But Apple, my goodness, he's up 100% on a lot of the shares he's bought in this company just 2 years ago, okay? He's already made a massive amount of money. We're talking tens of billions of dollars in profit already on this one. He could end up making hundreds of billions of dollars in profit in Apple over time, guys. This is incredible, okay? Apple, right now, even after its big upward move, we're still looking at a stock around a 15.5 forward PE. That is not high, all right? That is not high. The amazing thing about Apple, and one of the big reasons why Warren Buffett looks at this and he's like, this is like a no-brainer stock. I'm going to keep throwing money at this. I'm going to continue to buy even at $209 a share, is when he looks at this, 15.5 forward PE, is a company getting massively more profitable. We saw EPS was up 40% in the last quarter. The types of numbers Apple's doing right now are like what growth companies do, all right? Nice growth companies. But yet this is value, like it's a value stock, a 15.5 forward P. That's like value stock territory, okay? So this is value like a value stock. They have massive growth going for them. They're just turning money over hand over fist right now. $10 billion plus in profits every single quarter, okay? During the Christmas quarter this year, they should easily do $20 billion plus in profits. And in a 1-3 month span. Think about that for a second. So this company is going to continue to throw off a lot of cash, continue to up the dividends each and every year. So this massive stake they're going to build here, this is going to take Berkshire Hathaway to new levels they've never reached before. This will be his probably best investment ever in terms of the amount of money he will make on it. In terms of percent, it might not, but in terms of the amount of money, since he's investing so much, and Apple still has a long runway to go, and the amount of dividends he'll make off this, it will likely be his best investment of his entire investing career. When we look at this, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. So it's absolutely amazing. They're already making, sick amounts of profits off this one, and should continue to in the future. The second stock he is buying right now is a stock I personally own, which is Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, well, what else can you say about Goldman Sachs? The best investment bank in the world, trading at a forward P of 9. This one, kind of like, Apple, but maybe Apple's more of a no-brainer than Goldman Sachs, but even Goldman Sachs, you're looking at the best investment bank in the world, so well politically connected. This is a company that is so well run, an unbelievable culture, a company that can manage to make money regardless of what's been so impressive about Goldman Sachs is this company makes massive profits whether we have a good economy, a bad economy, a so-so economy. They find ways to make massive amounts of money regardless, and that's one of the things that makes Goldman Sachs so special, okay? Other than being politically connected and having a great culture and all those type of things in the company in terms of making money, the fact that this is a company that they will find a way to make a lot of money regardless of what's going on in the economy, it's pretty amazing, because most companies, if the economy goes south, if the economy's in distress, hard times, most companies struggle out there. Goldman Sachs is like, no, we're going to find ways to make money. They do it all the time. That's why a lot of people hated them during the financial crisis. They looked at Goldman Sachs, they're like, you guys are making all this money, everybody else is out there struggling. It's just the way it is. Those guys are really smart over there. They're going to find a way to make money. Next two stocks up here are both airlines. So it looks like he's really bullish on the airlines until you dig a little deeper here in a second, and we'll realize maybe he's not so bullish on the airlines. So Delta Airlines added significantly to his stake here. By the way, Goldman Sachs, he upped his stake by 21%. Okay, by the way, with Goldman Sachs there. Delta, he added very aggressively. Delta is one of the biggest airlines out there, $37 billion market cap, forward P of 8, so pretty low here. And then he also bought a big stake, or a bigger stake, I should say, in Southwest Airlines, which was one of his smaller plays in the airlines. $33 billion market cap. Personally, if I was forced to buy an airline, I would buy Southwest. I just like the brand a lot. Forward P on this one of around 12. So, it looks like he's really bullish on the airlines, but once again, in a minute, I'm not sure he's so bullish on the airlines. We'll see here in just a second. By the way, the airlines are the only negative going for the airlines right now is fuel costs are going up right now. So that's going to hurt a lot of these companies' profitability, which is why a lot of these companies, you see their trailing P is actually lower than their forward P. They're actually expected to be less profitable in 2018 versus 2017, despite the economy kind of being in a better shape, all right? And the last big buy, and then we'll get to the sells he's made, is Teva Pharmaceutical, big pharmaceutical company, $22.5 billion market cap, forward P of under 8 on this company. I'm surprised he doesn't just want to buy Teva Pharmaceutical straight up. Like, he could probably do a deal for somewhere around between $30 and $35 billion for that company, and I would say they would probably accept that deal. The board of directors and shareholders would probably accept a deal for $35 billion on Teva there. And, I'm surprised. It would just be a drop in the bucket for them. They got well over $100 billion in cash. I'm surprised he doesn't just try to buy them straight up, get the deal done. I don't know. Very interesting there. He's already a big shareholder of the company, so he could help push the votes in a big way to get it done. But, who knows why. Now, in terms of selling real quick, before we get into the 5 stocks he's selling off, there are 2 ways you could think about it. Warren Buffett is selling this stock because he just wants to raise some more money to put in another stock. That's one way we could view it. But at the same time, you got to view it on the other side. This company has well over $100 billion in cash sitting around. Why does he need to raise funds to sell off some stock to put in another stock? He's got plenty of money around, okay? It's not like he's like, oh, I need to sell off $100 million worth of shares here or $2 billion worth of shares in this company because I want to invest that somewhere else. He's got plenty of money laying around just to invest, all right? So, there's kind of 2 ways you could look at it there. Or it could just be he doesn't like these companies anymore and he wants to start getting out. Phillips 66, this is probably his most aggressive sell of any of them. He sold out of this one very heavy. This one's got about a $56 billion market cap. Higher forward P than it does a trailing P, so usually a bad sign there. So he's getting out of Phillips 66, or at least partially getting out of Phillips 66. Like I said, that was the most aggressive sell I saw. Wells Fargo, he only sold 1% of his stake in Wells Fargo. It was not a big sell, obviously one of the biggest banks in the world. Not sure why he sells 1% of Wells Fargo. Like why? Like why, you know what I mean? Like why even sell a 1% stake? Like why not just, you know, keep in that stock 100% or start selling off aggressively to sell 1% of Wells Fargo? Like I said, this guy's got $100+ billion laying around in cash. Like why do you need to do that? You know, things like that don't make sense to me. I don't quite get it. Charter Communications, this is not a stock I follow closely at all, so I'm not sure what is going on with this company. So they have around an $83 billion market cap, but look at their trailing P. So around the 8, but then you look at their forward P, it's almost a 43 plus. So I'm not sure what's going on with Charter Communications. Once again, it's not a company I follow, but for whatever reason, they're expected to be way less profitable this year than they were last year. Strange thing. So remember, we just talked about Airlines just a minute ago, and we said he might be very bullish on airlines. He's buying two airlines, more heavy. Well, then all of a sudden he's got two big sells on airlines. American Airlines Group. This is also another big airline, around a 6.5 forward P, and he's selling off of this one. And he's also selling a lot of shares in United Continental Holdings, another big airline there with a forward P of 8.5. So it's kind of confusing why he wants to buy, you know, Delta and Southwest and then sell off of two other airlines. It's like, are you bullish on the airlines? Are you bearish on the airlines? Or do you just rotating some money from two maybe you think are overvalued to two you think are undervalued? You know, we never know the reasons why he sells or buys or does any of those type of things. Also, Todd and Ted run a lot of money now. So we don't know how many of those buys versus those sells were their decision versus his decision. In terms of Apple and Goldman Sachs, and probably even the airlines, in my opinion, those are probably his decisions in the end. Those are his type of companies. Apple's obviously the one he's really wanted to buy heavily in. Goldman Sachs, he's got a long history of Goldman Sachs. That's probably his decision of up the stake by 21% there. And then the airline's probably his decision as well. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think these are good buys? Do you think these are good sells by Warren Buffett out there? Well, love to hear from you guys in that comment section. As always, if you own any of these stocks, if you're planning on owning any of those stocks, I would love to hear from you guys. As always, make sure you follow me on Instagram if you have not already. I post a ton of stock market news, especially in my Instagram stories all the time. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.